Hey guys, it's Shady Orange here, and today we're going to teach you how to subtract and add polynomials. Okay, first you want to know what's a polynomial. A polynomial is an expression of two or more algebraic terms, especially the sum of several terms that contain different powers of the same variable. Okay, just to review, everything you see right there in the picture are terms. So the tiny 2 and tiny 3 are called exponents, and the x's and the y's are called variables, and variables can be any letter. So the example to the left is a polynomial. The example to the right isn't, because you can't have a negative exponent or terms over another term. Okay, so first off, you want to know what are like terms. Like terms are terms that contain the same variable raised to the same power. So what would make that true is that 5x plus 7x would become 12x because they are like terms. 7 plus 7 would become 14 because they are like terms. So 2x squared plus 3x cubed are not like terms, so they would stay the same. 2x squared and 3x cubed have the same variable, but they have different exponents. So that's why they have the same, they would stay the same. Okay, so first let's start doing some like term problems. So the first problem is going to be 5x cubed plus 3y cubed plus 2x cubed plus 2y cubed. So then you want to link up the like terms, make sure they have the same variable and exponents, and then you want to add them together. So 5x cubed plus 2x cubed will equal 7x cubed, and 3y cubed plus 2y cubed will equal 5y cubed. And that's how you add like terms. Hi guys, I forgot to tell you guys, when you're adding like terms together into one polynomial, that you need a leading coefficient. And what a leading coefficient is, the number before the variable needs to be the biggest, and the exponent also needs to be the biggest out of all of them. So that's why 7x cubed is bigger, is in the back of a 5y cubed, and 2y squared is in front of 5y cubed, because 2 is smaller than 5, and square is also smaller than cubed.
Hey guys, so I'm Taylor, and so the first problem is open parentheses 2x minus 7 close parentheses plus open parentheses 4x minus 9 close parentheses. Next step is to bring down the polynomial on the right underneath the polynomial to the left. Also, both polynomials can now be written without parentheses, and make sure you line up the like terms. The last step is to solve by adding and subtracting the like terms. Then the answer should come out to be 6x minus 16.
Okay, to help you guys on the next problems, we'll do some reviews. So x plus x equals x squared. No. X plus x actually equals 2x, not x squared. So the reason behind that, because if a variable is by itself, the exponent is always 1, and you can't add two exponents together. You only do that when you're multiplying two exponents. So also there's a number 1 in front of both x's, because there's two x's in the problem, so you want 2x. X squared plus x squared will now equal 2x squared. You always keep the 2 because you can't add two exponents together, only when you're multiplying. And again, where you get the 2, there's a 1, so you want two x's in there. X cubed plus x squared equals nothing, because you can't add those together. Only when you're multiplying, okay? You have that, only when you're multiplying.
The next problem is open parentheses 2x squared plus 7 plus 4 close parentheses plus open parentheses 4x squared plus 9x plus 8 close parentheses. Same as last time, bring down the problem to the right, under the problem to the left. You can rewrite it if it feels better. Remember, the polynomials now can be written without parentheses. Now line up the like terms and add or subtract them together. The final problem should be 6x squared plus 16x plus 12.
When there is a subtraction sign in front of the polynomial to the right, you then distribute the subtraction signs to the terms in the parentheses to the right. Think like you're multiplying everything in the parentheses with a negative 1. Just a reminder, when multiplying a negative with a positive, the sign will then become a negative. When multiplying two positives, your sign will still be a positive. Okay, so the next problem is going to be open parentheses 2x squared plus 5x minus 2 close parentheses minus open parentheses 6x squared minus 3x minus 1 close parentheses. Okay, we got the subtraction sign, we're going to distribute it. Now we're going to rewrite the problem without the parentheses. It's going to be 2x squared plus 5x minus 2 over, since we distributed that negative sign, it's going to be negative 6x squared minus 3x minus 1. Since we distribute it to the negative 3x, it's going to become a positive 3x. Since also the negative 1x, negative 1 is going to become a positive 1. We're going to add the 1 to the negative 2, becomes a negative 1. The 5x plus 3x equals positive 8x. 2x squared minus 6x squared equals negative 4x squared. Don't forget to take the sign of the bigger number. Okay, this is going to be the last problem for adding and subtracting polynomials. And the problem is going to be open parentheses 3y cubed minus 5y squared plus 9y minus 10 close parentheses minus open parentheses 2y cubed plus 8y minus 2 close parentheses. Since we have the negative, we're going to distribute it, and now we're going to rewrite the problem to write 3y cubed minus 5y squared plus 9y minus 10. Since we distributed that negative, the positive 2y cubed will now become a negative 2y cubed and plus 8y minus 2. Since we distributed, the negative 2 will become positive, and the positive 8y will also become negative. So negative 10 plus 2 will become negative 8. 9y minus 8y become positive 1y. And since there's nothing below the negative 5y squared, just bring it down. So it's gonna be negative 5y squared. And 3y cubed minus 2y cubed will equal 1y cubed, and that's the answer. Hey guys, it's Shady Orange here, and today we're going to tell you how to factor and solve. This is a process called factoring, and we're going to do it on a polynomial called trinomial. So first off, you want to set up two pairs of parentheses. Also, you want to bring down the 0. Next, you want to divvy up the 2x squared to get rid of the exponent. So I got 2x and x. You want to place that in the first position of both parentheses. Next, to figure out the second position of the parentheses, both second positions need to multiply up to the last term in the trinomial, which is 3. So negative 1 and negative 3 will add up, multiply up to 3. Next, you want to multiply the first and last, and the middle and the inner. This will figure out if we got the correct numbers to figure out the middle term, which would be -7x. So 2x times -3 will be -6x plus -1 times x will equal -1x, and you will add those two terms together, which equals -7x. Now with the 0, you're going to take each parentheses and add a 0 and take out the parentheses as shown. Now you want to plus the 1 to each side. It's going to be like an individual equation now. So you get x equals 1/2, and the other side you just add a 3 and x will equal 3. There you go. Okay, so the next problem is going to be 4t squared minus 16t plus 12 equals 0. Then you want to add 2 pairs of parentheses below it. Also, then you want to divvy up the 4t squared into factors. It could be 4t and t, or 2t and 2t. So I picked 2t and 2t. You want to place that in the first position of each parentheses. Then the last position, you need to find the factors of the last factor, which is 12. There's a lot of factors for positive 12, but you can try each one of them. Some of them will not work, some of them will not work either. Well, just one of them will work, I think. So I picked -6 and -2. I'll place that in the second position of the 2 parentheses. Don't forget the 0. Oops, almost forgot the 0. Okay, make sure those 2 multiply up to the last term. Yes, they do. Now you want to multiply the first term and the last term and the 2 middle terms together. So 2t times 2 equals 4t, -4t, oh, didn't see that. And -6 times 2t will equal a -12t. You add those together and equals -16t. And then you got, if you got it right, you get, those are the 2 numbers you need. So next, you want to take the 2 parentheses and add an equal 0 to each equation. Now there are 2 different equations now. You want to find what is t. So the one on the left, you added 6 to both sides, and the one on the left, you added 2 to both sides. So you got 2t equals 6 and 2t equals 2. So you want to divide 2 on both sides, and you get 2t equals 3 on the left and 2t equals 1 on the right. Okay, so the next problem is going to be 10y squared minus 41y minus 18 equals 0. Then you want to add 2 pairs of parentheses below it equals 0. Forget the equal 0. Then you want to divvy up the 10y squared to get rid of the exponent 2. I got 5y and 2y. You want to add those to the first position of each parentheses. Next, you want to find factors of -18. I have +2 and -9. There's a lot of factors on -18, but I summed it up for you guys so you guys can learn this. So now you want to multiply the last and the first and the two middles. So 5y times -9 equals -41y, and 2 times 2y equals 4y. You want to add those two terms together, which would equals -41y, which is the middle term of the trinomial. You can also make sure if your two last terms are multiplied correctly to the last term in the polynomial. So now you want to add an equal 0 to the two parentheses, and you can ditch the two parentheses and add to make them two individual equations. Okay, so on the left you will have y equals -2 over 5, and on the right you're gonna have y equals 9 over 2. Okay, so the last problem might be a little bit easier than the last, I don't know, but it's kind of easier for me. But okay, so it's 3y squared plus 2y equals -16 equals 0. So then you're gonna first set up two pairs of parentheses below the trinomial, and don't forget to add the 0 to the end. Then you're gonna find factors of the first term of the trinomial to split up the exponent. So I got 3y and y. Then you want to find factors of the last term in the trinomial, which is -16. And you can find factors of that, and I got +8 and -2. Remember that the position of both numbers might screw up the problem, the answer, and maybe take you longer than expected to find the answer. So then you want to multiply the first and last and the two middle terms. So then you get -6y plus 8y equals 2y. You can also figure out if you multiply correctly to find the last term in the trinomial, which is -16. Now you want to add an equal 0 to the two problems in the parentheses to make them two individual equations. Then you want to solve like a regular any old equation by subtracting or adding to both sides, and if there's a number in front of the variable, you can divide by the number. So on the right you have y equals -8 over 3 and y equals 2 on the left. Hey guys, if you like this video, leave comments in the comment section and give it tons of likes. Suggest what should we do now, and special shout out to Race the Ace. Go check him out. He is a YouTuber, gamer, and give him tons of likes and comments. Make him YouTube famous if you want to. And this is Shady Orange, and I'm reporting out. Bye.